What's going on, guys? Noobs here with a guide to playing SimCity 2000 the way I did as a kid, by removing all creativity and fun from the game and strictly playing for maximum space efficiency. First thing you need to know, you don't want to just jump into starting a new city. No, you gotta start by editing your map, because this default style of map they give you, this is no good. So what you want to do is crank all of these down, because you don't want any personality in your map. Now if you leave it with the river, it's gonna just break up your city. You're gonna have to build some bridges. You don't want to deal with that. So you use the coast, because you do need water. And then inevitably there will be a few blemishes on your maps. What you want to do is you just take out that level tool. You just need to run around and quickly level all of these out, fix this up. Now, inevitably, you're not going to have a perfectly straight coastline, and if you're doing this for real, you can come in here and count the grid and fix this up. But this is just for demonstration, so that's good enough. Naming your city, new city, followed by a number, that's good enough. You certainly want to play on easy, and start in year 2050, so you can bypass all the technological developments, start right in the future. Alright, now right away you want to jump into your options here. You hit your speed down to pause. You definitely want auto budget on. Disasters are off. And turn off your newspapers. You don't want to deal with those. Now, getting a little more in depth with these speeds, they give you a bunch of options here, but in reality, this is a two-speed game. Pause and African Swallow. Basically, pause is obvious what that does. African Swallow is just light speed insanity. And just to get you started here, you always need a connection in the corner, and then you want to decide how to lay out your roads, what kind of grid you want to set up. Now land can be developed up to 3 spaces away from the road, so you could technically do these 6 wide. Personally, I do 4 wide for no reason other than that's what I used to do as a kid. And then, again, you can count the grid here, but again, this is demonstration purposes, so I won't bother counting these out. I like to break this up into, maybe about 4 segments here. And at this point, you've basically finished with actually figuring out the layout of your city. You can just jump right into building your first power plant. I personally go with the gasoline plant or oil power, but it's up to you. Coal could do as well. First thing that the Sims are going to be demanding is industry, so you can give them that. And like I said, immediately go from pause to African Swallow. This will instantly populate. You can pause again, and you know what? From there, it's pretty much just paint by numbers. You just alternate your zoning. Personally, I like to put the commercial in between the industrial and the residential. Breaks it up so that the Sims are actually willing to move in. They don't like living directly beside the industry, and everything benefits by being beside commercial. And as you get into this, Sims are going to start whining for different kinds of public services, starting with police. And then pretty much immediately they're going to want fire as well. So you can throw those down really anywhere. One other early demand is water. I guess these guys like to have drinkable water. I don't know. I mean, it seems a little demanding to me. But anyways, here we go. And you can see I've used up all my money building all these water pumps. But let's check the tax situation here. It looks like I am slightly profitable. And the nice thing about playing on these speed settings is, well, you certainly don't need cheat codes. You sure don't want to use loans. So just make sure you're profitable, and then you just switch to African Swallow. You just wait for the money to roll in. Now, I'm not too sure what's happening here. I've got disasters off, but my power plant blew up anyways. You know what? That's fine. I got my 4,000. I can throw down for coal, and right back to African Swallow. What's going on here? Alright, we're good. We're good. We're making money again. Just need to quickly pause this. Throw down the pipes. Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened with that power plant. That seems to happen sometimes. It really shouldn't. Okay, I think we're back. We're good now. They want a hospital. Like I said, they do like to whine. They're almost certainly going to want a school after that. I should point out here, you know, the zoning, they give you light and dense for all of these. Personally, I have no idea what light is even for. That's not going to maximize tax revenue. Can't do anything with that. Strictly use dense. Now you can see that we need a power plant to advance. I didn't have enough money, just ran this for a bit. And I'm up to 40,000, which means I can build the fusion plant, which will cover you for most of your city's growth, and I'm hoping it won't blow up either. Yeah, unfortunately these sims, you know, they have a lot of demands. They're already back to wanting more police. This is really the biggest issue. You get a monitor, they're whining, or they're not going to move to your city. And obviously the only point of playing this game is to maximize your tax revenue. So you do have to occasionally spend money to make money here, and that means public services. Yeah, and they'll even start demanding entertainment. I don't know why they need a zoo. By the way, always just build zoos. The marina that requires water, that's a hassle. Small parks and big parks, they're annoying because you can't run power through them. That's no good. Stadium, you have to name the stadium. So zoo is really the simplest thing to go with, so definitely use that. After a while, they're going to start demanding seaports and airports. These can be a bit pricey, but since I've been running at African swallow speed for a while, I've built up quite a stockpile. Of course, you got to throw the seaport down in front of the water here. And you know what? Obviously, you want a nice grid here, so I like to extend my roads all the way out and just make sure it fits in between my grid lines. You probably don't need a seaport this big. This is a bit unnecessary here. And likely later on, once I figure out the spacing on all these, I'll have to redo this anyways. But like I said, this is just for demonstration purposes. You could obsessively count these if you're taking this seriously. Alright, now we got our seaport. They already want an airport. You know, like, it's a lot to ask, but just throw that in anywhere. Perfect. At this point, you probably got a pretty sweet city going on. As you can see, mine is utterly lacking in personality. And I'll be able to very efficiently just fill in these grid lines and come up with a totally successful city here in no time. Yeah, eventually you'll get this reward, quote-unquote reward for giving up some of your land for a military base. They're going to just plunk that down anywhere outside of your control. It's real ugly as well, so I always say no to that. That's just going to get in the way of your grid. By the way, these other rewards that you get, you know, house, city hall, statue, don't need to worry about any of those right now. Now, at a certain point, as you develop your city, you're going to hit a population big enough to unlock arcologies, and that's really our end game here. You only want to build these launch arcologies as well. These are the most efficient, the most number of people. They're all the 4x4 grid, so you might as well build the ones that house the most people. You don't want to build too many though, or they're going to literally launch and you're going to lose everybody. So just be a little bit careful. Now, as you can see, I've built up nearly $5 million in my budget, so I can really start throwing these around. These are really what you want to work with to really maximize your income here. Now, as you can see, you know, I didn't measure these grids correctly. Spacing's no good. What you want to do at this point is probably blow everything up and fix all your roads. But you know what? As I said, this is just for demonstration, so I'm gonna allow it this time. But you know, when you're playing your own game, you can waste as much of your own time as you need to get your city just right. And as predicted, this isn't quite the right spacing on these roads here at the end of the street. But you know what? I'm just gonna accept it. It is for demonstration. If I was playing this for reals on my own, you know what, I'd just be fixing all of this, having absolutely no fun and beating myself up over it, which is really the main objective here. So just keep that in mind for yourself. Yeah, eventually one fusion plant, especially once you start building these arcologies, is not going to cut it. You are going to have to face facts here and actually add a second one in here. I like to put them together just to ensure that, you know, really nothing of interest appears in my city. As well, after a while, you know, they're going to be demanding more and more of this water. You know, you can just keep throwing out pumps until they're happy. As long as your pipes are connected, you'll be fine. One thing you can do as well is you can build some nice islands out in the bay here and fill those up with pumps as well. Obviously, the most important thing here is you keep everything in nice straight lines. You know, make sure, like I've been saying, just you don't want any personality here in your city, so just be careful with that. And you know what, if you blow up everything, it's fine as long as you pause the game, so don't worry about that either. Yeah, I don't really know what any of these other water things do besides the pumps. Since we're on the coast, maybe desalinization does something. I'll throw a bunch of those down. Maybe these guys will stop whining. Alright, so they finally start whining about water. They still want schools. Yeah, I haven't left any space for that. But you know what? It's fine. Just blow up their homes. You can fit it in anywhere. Now they're back on the entertainment whining. Let's see here. Have I left any space on the coast for marinas? No, that is one thing you can do to even out your coastline a little bit, but I didn't leave a space for that. Looks like nobody wants to live out here by all the desalinization plants anyways. Might as well throw some zoos over here. That's got to be good for the animals, right? Like I've said, you know, don't hesitate to blow up their homes. You know, progress has a price, and in this game that price is just reckless destruction of people's homes. You know, they will riot if you accidentally demolish even one tree, but just tear up their entire city block, nothing. So at this point, we've hit over $100,000 a year in cash flow, huge population, and that's a pretty good stopping point. Well, I shouldn't say stopping point. This is a good point to just throw that speed into African swallow and walk away and see how much cash you can rake in while you're gone. Alright guys, so I walked away for a few minutes here and we're already up to 600 million. That's fantastic. You could let this go all day, but that's plenty at this point. At this point, you're getting pretty close to actually being able to start the game properly. There's only one thing left to do, which is to level your entire city. So at this point, you can just let loose with all of the disasters. I find earthquakes are probably the most effective because they blow up a bunch of stuff right away, and they tend to cause fires as well, which is really helpful. Alright, we got things burned down pretty good here, which means it's a good time to just walk away again, because it's going to take a while to destroy everything these Sims have ever known. Alright, so at this point things are looking pretty good. Looks like everything's been destroyed at this point. Just waiting for a bunch of the flames, a bunch of the fires, and a few random rioters to calm down. And you know what? At that point you'll finally be ready to play SimCity properly. You'll have a totally blank slate and more money you can ever hope to spend in the game, and that way you can redo everything that I showed you guys in this video without any financial constraints. In fact, you can just zone up the whole thing, build it however you want before you ever unpause the game. And really, in the end, isn't that the dream?